So Posh Boy Housing Minister Eoghan Murphy says the solution to the housing crisis is not to go out and build 50,000 houses. Could you imagine saying that to your ma? Ma, we're out of potatoes. We'll go out and buy more potatoes. I don't think getting more potatoes is the solution to the potato shortage. But behind the appearance of incompetence is a sinister agenda. Eoghan Murphy was quoted in the media this week as saying, if we wanted to go out and build 50,000 houses through the state, we could, we've got the money, but we'd just be building them in the wrong places. And we don't need houses, we need more apartments. But this feigned ignorance is even more appalling in the context of the growing housing crisis that surrounds us. Last month, homelessness hit 10,000 people, 4,000 of them children. There are 85,800 households on waiting lists, which totals about 200,000 people. There are 72,000 people in mortgage arrears, and there are 20,000 households where people have had to move back in with their family. The average monthly rent in Dublin is now higher than the average monthly rent in beautiful cities like Copenhagen or Stockholm. I mean, Fine Gael's wonderful spin surrounding their 2040 investment programme, which sees them promise to buy us the sun, the moon and the stars, but if we wait till 2040, talks a lot about investment. But it would take over 20 billion in extra investment just to bring Ireland up to the level of state spending of other EU countries. Fine Gael have hollowed out the welfare state. So while Eoghan Murphy pretends to be a little posh boy lost, their actual agenda is quite sinister. It's to allow the homelessness and housing crisis to continue to escalate as long as it enriches those at the top, the developers, the landlords and the vulture firms. Because according to Fine Gael's mantra, it's those people that when they make money create economic activity, and eventually the money will trickle down to the rest of us. Varadkar like to go on about dole sheets and people getting handouts, but it's the big landlords that are getting the handouts. The state has handed over 6.4 billion to landlords in the last 12 years. And that's going to increase with the HAP programme, which is very far from being real social housing and is just about giving private landlords another handout. By the year 2022, Fine Gael will be given 1 billion a year in subsidies to private landlords. And no matter what the spin, it would be cheaper, and everybody knows it would be cheaper, to build houses directly by the state. If you cut out the average developer profit of 37 grand, if you cut out the land fees, because the state and the council could use their own land, you're talking about another 57,000 off the cost of a house. Then there's no VAT. Well, if a local council built a house, they pay VAT, but the VAT would be going back to the state, so that money would stay within state hands. That's another 39,000. If you add it all up, from the average house price of 300,000, you could get down to a house price of 150,000 if the state built the houses themselves. And if the state was to rent state houses to people on the housing list, instead of paying 1 billion a year in subsidies to private landlords, the state would be making money from rental income from these houses. So why won't Fine Gael do it? They talk about Republic of Opportunity while removing supports from the needy. But they've no problem with the state giving support to the rich. And it all comes down to their market worship, their Thatcherite politics. They might dress it up in talk of equality and of opportunity. But as Varadkar said, he's someone that believes that the market is the best way to run a society. As the economist Keynes said about people like Varadkar, they have the astonishing belief that the nastiest of motives, of the nastiest of men, somehow makes for the best results in the best of all possible worlds. Fine Gael's neoliberal politics, their Thatcherite politics, is about destroying the state sector, destroying public housing, destroying public health, hollowing out society in the name of the market. It's an arrogant and dogmatic assumption that the market is the only way to regulate human affairs, especially when faced with the reality of people who are suffering day to day as a consequence of their stupid economic theories. The truth of what neoliberalism really is: a war against the working class. So the first thing that we have to do is recognise that Fine Gael are at war with our class. Then the second thing we have to do is fight back.